What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Seahawks Now, your home for all things daily Seahawks news, rumors, and, of course, updates. Today, we're talking about 3 edge rushers the Seahawks could target this offseason if they want to beef up their pass rush going into 2025. But first, guys, if you're not subscribed, I would ask that you please hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another breaking news alert. With that being said, guys, let's hop into the video. Thank you to Sports Illustrated for giving us kind of the idea for this. They had a similar article talking about 4 edge rushers they thought we should target. I'm talking about my favorite 3. So the first guy I'm interested in would be Sam Hubbard of the Cincinnati Bengals. Sam Hubbard has 1 year left on his contract with the Bengals. And yeah, I think there's a lot of things to like about Hubbard, specifically his previous production, because this season was kind of a rough year for Sam Hubbard. To be honest, he missed some time with injury. He only ended up with 2 sacks, but I want to look at what he's done over the past 5 years, because it has been a pretty impressive 5-year run for Sam Hubbard. Looking at since 2020, 24 sacks, so he's averaging about 5 sacks a year, 163 solo tackles, 38 tackles for loss, 76 QB hits. That's one that I really, really like to see, and he's been a part of 8 fumbles. He forced 4 and he recovered 4. The 76 quarterback hits is a big one. That means he was averaging 15 quarterback hits per year, so about 1 quarterback hit per game. That's a really good ratio, in my opinion. I would actually be very interested in seeing Sam Hubbard. The Seahawks could trade for him. He'd be fairly cheap. He'd probably be about an $11 million cap hit. I think that would be worth it if you're talking about a guy who, yeah, he's a bounce-back flyer, but he had good years in 2021. 2020 he had 8 sacks. 2021 he had 4.5, and then he was over 6 in both 2022 and 2023 before falling off only 2 sacks last year. But I think that when you consider there are some injury issues going on there as well, I think that I really think that we'd be okay taking a flyer on him. I think he'd be a very solid option for a bounce back guy. I think there's a very good chance he bounces back, considering that 3 of the last 5 years he's been great, and 1 of the last 5 he's been good. Only 1 year he's been bad, which was last year, but he's only 29 years old. I think he's a clear bounce back candidate, so I'd be very happy with Sam Hubbard in Seattle Blue. But let's talk about another potential option. How about a reuniting with an old friend, Jadeveon Clowney? What do I have to say about Jadeveon Clowney? Well, he's been around the league. After he went to the Seahawks, he then went to the Browns, then he went to the Ravens, then he went to the Panthers. He's been all over the place. If you look at his last 6 years, I think he's played for 5 teams in the last 6 years, but he's still productive. Look, 26 sacks in the last 5 years, so he's averaging more than 5 a season, 100 solo tackles, 37 tackles for loss, 59 quarterback hits, and again, he's been a part of 8 fumbles. So yeah, not a little bit less productive, I would say, than Sam Hubbard. I know he has 2 more sacks, but less tackles for loss, less quarterback hits. But he's still a dynamic guy coming off the edge. And again, he'd be very cost effective. He's probably only going to cost you maybe $6-7 million. So yeah, I could see a reuniting with Jadeveon Clowney happening, and I think Clowney would be open to it. Clowney's whole thing has always been that he always used to look for more money than he was worth, and so he was always one of the last guys to sign, because he always thought he was a little bit better than I think other teams valued him at. But as he's getting up there in age, he's more of a veteran. I think he knows his worth a little better now, so I do think that if the Seahawks wanted him, I think he'll be there, and I do think that's definitely a possibility for a reunion there. The last guy I want to talk about is Reclamation Project Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff had a great season in 2023 with the New York Jets. He kind of didn't even play, which is interesting. So his first 3 years on the Jets, he barely played. And then in 2023, which was year 4 for him, he broke out, had a great year. He ended up with 10 sacks. And then he went to the Eagles this year and kind of struggled a lot. But he is, by the way, in the Super Bowl. But yeah, Bryce Huff really struggled this year with Philadelphia. Did not have the year that anyone imagined that he would have. Checking out the stats again, last 5 years, 20 sacks, but again, 10 of those came in 2023, 45 solo tackles, 20 tackles for a loss, 47 quarterback hits, and then only 2 fumbles in those 5 years. But again, take it with a grain of salt, because he's really only been a starter for 2 years. One of those 2 years, he was elite. The other one, he really was not elite, which was on Philadelphia. So he's a bit of a reclamation project, I have to say. I don't know if you're guaranteed to see the Jets version of him. I think the Jets, what really helped him on the Jets was that A, he had a really good defensive coach in Robert Saleh, and B, he had a really good level of teammates around him, right? He was playing with some really elite talent on the Jets. The Jets defense that year was really, really good, 2023. And so you have to wonder, could a little bit of that massive year be a combination of coaching and the players he had around him? I'm not sure. But as a reclamation project, again, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed. He's going to be a free agent. He's probably not going to cost that much money, probably $5, $6, maybe $7 million at the most. So again, he would not be a major hit to the cap, and he has shown he can be elite in the past. Look, there's plenty of one-year wonders in the league, but I'd be down to see if Bryce Huff isn't a one-year wonder. Because, like I said, the first 3 years, he didn't get much of a chance. He really broke out in year 4 and then had a kind of a down year this year. But who's to say he can't get back to at least close? Like, I don't need him to get 10 sacks. If he could get to a 6-sack, 12 tackles for 12 quarterback hits, 20 tackle for loss season, that would be massive. And I do think that he's shown the talent, so why couldn't he do that? Well, guys, that's all I have for you again today. A bit of a shorter video if that's all right, but let me know down in the comments, which of these 3 guys are you most interested? Would it be Sam Hubbard? Would it be Jadeveon Clowney? Would it be Bryce Huff? Which one of those 3 would you rather the Seahawks go after this offseason, or would you rather the Seahawks go after multiple? Or just, if you disagree, let me know down in the comments. I want to know why. I want to hear it. I want to hear all of your hot takes. And let me know again, what do you want me to talk about on the channel? Any ideas, any sorts of rumors you want me to cover? Anything that you want my opinion on? Let me know down below. As always, until next time, go Seahawks, and we'll see you tomorrow.